Hey guys, welcome back to the Don't Settle Squad podcast, episode 44, my return to Jiu-Jitsu and the value of preparation. This episode covers my return to Jiu-Jitsu after knee surgery and the value of preparation before going to your sports sessions. So for this one, we're starting off with my return to Jiu-Jitsu after knee surgery. So today is Thursday, and I went back to Jiu-Jitsu on Tuesday for being out for a good while again. So for the people who've been following, they know about the knee issue. If you're new here, basically tore my right meniscus probably 3 or 4 years ago at this stage, but it was on and off for 2 years because I didn't have health insurance and I was waiting on a public list. And eventually, I tried to go back like 5 times and kept re-tearing it after 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever it was each time. So then I just stopped. There is the line of not settling and then being an idiot, and I tend to tightrope that line a lot, or tightrope walk that line a lot. And so I stopped for I don't even know how long now. It's been another probably 3, 4, 5 months, and got the surgery done 8 weeks post surgery now after doing the rehab myself, and good to go back. So finally went back on Tuesday, and delighted to be back. It's funny, like there was no massive emotions around it because I've already been emotional about it so many times. Like I've even what I was putting in the stories yesterday, just to kind of tell people about the return. Like I've been doing jiu-jitsu 6 or 7 years. I must check the dates one of the days, but just to make the stories, I realized I'm started jiu-jitsu 6 or 7 years ago, and my time on the actual mats has probably only been 3 or 4 years. Like it's just been so much time since I started to now where I've been out injured with chronic pain and injury. Hence how I became mobility coach. It was my only way back to doing things that I loved, finding out at all costs how to regain my physical freedom, and ended up teaching others that, and here we are. So it's just been, I've only really probably trained half the time. That's what got me into my own physical freedom journey originally, through starting jiu-jitsu and just realising how fucked up my body was, because couldn't do a class without like hip, back, neck pain either during the class or after, and then it started happening like both, like during the class and after class, and me just freaking out like we all do. Didn't know anything about the body back then. This is going back, as I said, 6-7 years, and all the experts I went to and some really high level people in Ireland just been like, like you're done, time to settle now. Oh lovely, my light's gone off for the YouTube version. Okay. And they're just like, time to settle. But I didn't, and found my way back. So with that, I took a year out then to actually come back. So that's like already 1 year out of the 6 or 7. But then even since then, I've had like a broken leg in there. There's been torn ankle ligaments where I had to get surgery on. Then there was, I've torn my left meniscus before. Don't have surgery on that one, but been able to manage it. Then the current one was the right meniscus, which I tore, and that was the one that was on and off 5 times, and I had to get surgery on that one. And I've like nerve issues in my neck and other things ongoing from the old days that I'm able to manage. So look, just sharing it all to show again, if you follow me, I'm not going to be the best, I'm not going to be whatever, but what am I going to be? Just that stubborn man who just won't fucking quit, and sharing that to inspire you guys to do the same. That look, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you settle for. I've had too many times to count where I easily could have given up, and there wouldn't be a bad word from anyone. If anything, they'd be like, oh look, I think you've finally made the right decision now, people are worrying about me and all. So look, it's just to show it's down to you, and you get what you settle for at the end of the day. An important thing to realise, which I don't think many people do, is they don't have to live with the regret, you do. So why are you listening to them? Just like really, you'll probably have to figure it out like me and go through the regret of listening to other people, stopping things that you wanted to do, and then living with that regret and letting you eat you alive from the inside out. Okay, like as I said in the stories, I understand it all. I understand the feelings of, is it even worth it anymore? And like, lady looks against you, and like you feel like the world's against you. Like, why do I keep getting injured? And I'm only young. There's people in jiu-jitsu in the gym I'm in 50 doing jiu-jitsu. I have probably more injuries than them. I'm 30, just gone 32. So I've been down the whole victim mentality route, lived that. There is nothing worse than that. Like, there's just nothing worse than that. We'll do a different podcast about that, I suppose, before getting too off track. But like, you have to live that settling life to understand all the stuff I'm telling you now of like there's no way except not settling and go for things that you want to do in life. And just sharing that again with my return to jiu-jitsu for the, I don't know what time. Is it the 7th time, the 10th time? I don't even know, because I don't fucking care anymore. I'm coming back no matter what, bar some real life-threatening type of injury. So that was it. And the second part just was around the preparation, because I'm approaching jiu-jitsu differently now. So I can talk about, what we'll do. I had the definition of preparation there as well, so we'll start there. It's always a good starting point, because when you talk about something with someone, a lot of the times you're not coming from the same definitions of things. So we'll start with the definition, and I'll bring that then into how jiu-jitsu was before for me and how it's going to be now going forward. So preparation, when I googled it, the action or process of preparing or being prepared. So basically, it's the process that you do to be prepared to go and do something. And I like the way, I was hoping for something like this, the word process. And you can think of it like, think of the mobility, the physical freedom. That's what I'm teaching people, like the preparation to go and be able to do your sport. The preparation of having physical freedom to be able to do your sport. And I've broke into a process for clients where they work on mobility, strength, and coordination. They work on mobility, trying to get the range of motion required for the sport. Jiu-jitsu will be a lot different to running, for example. Then strength, have they the ability to produce and absorb force to the levels that are needed in their sport? And then coordination, are they able to optimally control the range of motion available to them to try and prevent injuries and increase performance? Simple process, work on all those three. And a lot of modern rehab out there, or I shouldn't say modern, the kind of older type of rehab, doesn't have a process like that. It's like working on one of those things or two of those things to a very low level, and then people jump back to their sport and wonder why they keep getting re-injured. But when I explain that to people, light bulbs start going off. They can even identify themselves what areas that they haven't worked on. So I've done the preparation for my own physical freedom, as I said, again, for the 10th, 20th time, I don't know, but I have the roadmap and the process to do it. And then on top of that, you could say cardio separate. Like obviously you want to work on your cardio if you're going back to a certain sport, but I've done that. I've talked about this before. I've got my VO2 max from 53 up to 55 during the injured period, just to show people you can do, no matter if your knees are fucked or whatever's happened, you're able to do the machines. Like I did the cross trainer for my low and slow cardio work, the aerobic base stuff, and then I did the rogue bike or the assault bike for the hard and fast powerful stuff. And I got up from, I got up to the level of 20 hard sets on the rogue bike, as well as an hour doing pretty high level, was it level 14 or 15 or something, on the cross trainer. So got really good levels of cardio, just like general preparation cardio. Obviously, going back to jiu-jitsu, we'll have to get used to the economy of the actual sport again. But the best base in terms of physical freedom, I have it. And that's why, obviously, I was ready to go back. So you can see there, that's the preparation from the physical freedom side. But it's the same for jiu-jitsu. And any sport as well. It's not just for jiu-jitsu. If you're playing soccer, Gaelic, whatever. Think of the preparation that you do before the sessions. And I'm talking about all this now because I never did this. I used to just do my work with clients and making content or whatever, then go to jiu-jitsu class in the evening with no preparation, no plan. I'm just turning up tired and stuff, and I'm just going in there and I'm just doing the few drills, and then I'm just rolling. And I'm not really learning. I'm not really learning too much. I'm learning small bits, but then I'll go again the next day and I'll do the same stuff again, because I haven't, I didn't do a little review after the class and think what worked or what didn't work. And then before the next class, I didn't prepare anything again of what I'm actually going to focus on improving today for this session. So that's what I'm actually going to do now. And I know the value of preparation because I've done it in different parts of life and seen the amazing result, like the physical freedom. I used to never look after my body at all. I was just good at soccer and I just played soccer all the time and all these other sports, and things were generally fine until they weren't. You know my story. So I never did any preparation stuff until I was actually forced to do it. And then through diving into that, like I said, mobility, strength, coordination, cardio, learning all the science behind all these things and working on them, I can see how preparing your body to do things is amazing. And I went back and was better at everything, like rock climbing, jiu-jitsu, whatever it was, when I used to have pain doing them before. So I'm going to apply that now to jiu-jitsu, where for that class on Tuesday, I've already started my jiu-jitsu doc like I would have done years ago with mobility and different things, and the different tabs for the different positions, and the current points that I want to learn right now. So I'm going to the classes with an intent. I have principles of progress for life I talked about before, which you've all heard of. Chasing the small gains is one of them. Another one is consistency and intent, because you need them together. If you're consistent, but you're not intentful in what you're actually trying to do, you're not going to get the progress you want. And on the other side as well, if you're very intentful, but you only show up once in a blue moon, you're not going to get the results you want either. So that's why together they're very powerful, consistency and intent. Same for mobility, same for jiu-jitsu. So that's what I did. I just did a little bit of preparation on my jiu-jitsu game. I'm a purple belt, just trying to think like, what am I actually good at? What am I not so good at? What do I want to be in my A game? What's like my weaknesses that I want to work on? And there's lots of different models you'll see on YouTube from obviously the best guys in the world, and you can pick your own way that you want to do it. I'm just starting with, I have one idea in mind for defense, one idea in mind for attack, and then one kind of overall principle. That's my preparation. So I won't spend too long on it, because if you don't do jiu-jitsu, you'll be like, what is he talking about? But basically for defense, I'm just working side control defense. I want to improve that because I'm mainly a guard player, and obviously the downside of that is if they pass my guard, they have me in side control basically. So, and I'm not too good at getting out of there. So that's what I'm working on. Side control defense, focusing on T-Rex arms or else wrist control, and doing escapes and sweeps and stuff from those two positions. So that's just something simple. I'm going to bring them to this position, or if I get into that position, I'm going to work on those two things again and again and again. And then in attack, I was just going to work on armbar from closed guard paired with a triangle, so that if I go for the armbar, they block it, I can transition to a triangle, which would actually be my probably strongest attack. And then the one principle I was working on was, if I happen to be an open guard, to off-balance my opponent. Because so many people, like higher belts than me, brown belts, black belts, would just pass my guard. Some of them, like, who are very good, would pass my guard easily. Like, I have a pretty good guard, but it's obviously not great, because then I come up against the really good guys, and it's like, Toreando, pass my guard. Looking effortless. So, just by analysing that, like, one small thing I'm not doing is off-balancing them. I should be trying to off-balance them straight away before I go for any sweeps or anything else. And so that's all I have of like three small things in my mind. Oh, we start a round. If someone's attacking me, cool. If they're lower belt than me, I'll let them get to side control. If they're higher belt than me, it's not exactly my choice, but we'll probably end up there. And then I can work on the side control defense. If it's attack, if I'm a higher belt than them and I can choose to attack if I want, I'm going to try the armbar and the triangle. And if it's someone higher than me, maybe we'll get there too. And if not, anytime I'm kind of in open guard, I'll just think of that principle. Just off-balance them. Forget about the moves for a minute. Just try and off-balance them. And with that focus going in, it's so profound. It's madness. Like one of the higher black belts, who would always beat me, obviously, but just very easily. And I just do the same thing. He just passed my guard and I'd just be doing the same defenses. The same defenses, not really working. What happened this time? I knocked him off balance and swept him for the first time ever. Did it happen once or twice? I can't remember. Obviously, we're not going that hard and stuff, and he could dominate me easily if he wanted. But it just really showed me that's just because I did a little bit of prep beforehand. You know, like it's even 5, 10... Obviously, the more prep, the better, but like even 5 or 10 minutes, just think, what am I trying to work on today going into the class? And just because I sat down, I had the intent, okay, these 3 things, okay, we're an open guard, he's there, just try and off-balance him. Grab the collar, I don't know, did I have the other hand on his sleeve or on his foot? And I kind of pretended to like push him one way and just push him the other way. And he actually fell over then because I must have blocked his foot with my foot. So again, just thinking of that principle, having that principle of off-balancing in my mind, I swept him for the first time ever. Or at least off-balanced him. I probably actually didn't even get on top, so it's not a sweep. But I off-balanced him. So you can apply that to anything. Like that's a jiu-jitsu example. You'll fully understand it if you do jiu-jitsu. But like if it's anything else, if it's Gaelic, what are you going to work on today? Like is it free taking? Is it... I haven't played Gaelic in about 17 years. I don't even really know what to say there, but I don't know. Is it you're the corner forward and you want to practice spinning off your marker really quickly, or like a little jumping to the left so that you run to the right to peel off the marker? Like, I don't know. You'll know your own stuff that you're not great at, or else things that you are good at and you want to get even better at. So just even having like one thing you want to focus on in that training session, really having that intent is really going to help you, because it's going back to the small gains that I preach. If you just, like, it seems like nothing in one session, and like things mightn't even happen in one session. Maybe once a week you'll notice a little, like, oh, because I focused on that, I actually did a bit better there. But think of that over weeks, months, years, decades. That's when the compound effect adds up. That's when the small gains have all added up and they appear like a big gain, but it's not. It's an illusion. It's just all the small gains from those sessions going in with intent. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to share today, and how that's what I want to do with Jiu-Jitsu now, because we'll lead into the final part here, because I've never taken Jiu-Jitsu seriously in those 6 or 7 years. And what I mean by that is, well, there's a kind of a few different things. I think like the mobility is a good example for me, where I went all in. I went all in from the story, as I've said before. Like, it was burn the boats. Like, I'm going to get mobile or die trying. That's it. There's no more ifs, buts, or whatever about it. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to figure it out. And that's why I succeeded. That's why I regained my physical freedom and, ended up here. But I never gave like that level of commitment to jiu-jitsu. And look, it's hard to obviously give that level of commitment to more than one thing at a time. So not even to, like, it doesn't have to be to that extreme level, but just more commitment than showing up to class and having no plan whatsoever, and not really like tracking my progress or doing anything to improve outside of the class. So now I want to see what my potential is in jiu-jitsu, really. That's what I'm saying here, is like, I've competed maybe 3 or 4 times, but I didn't know prep for that either. I didn't train any differently. Like, I did no fight camp type thing. I didn't even cut weight or anything. Like, I did no extra prep. I just kind of showed up, and whatever, won 1 or 2, lost 4 or 5 in whatever the kind of six-ish fights that I had. But again, like, didn't prepare for any of that either. So yeah, just thinking a lot about it, that I've been out of jiu-jitsu for so long. I'm 32 now. Look, I've been very unlucky with injuries and things like that. I've accepted I don't know how life will go. Maybe I'll go back now and do jiu-jitsu for life. That session on Tuesday felt great. Or else I'll get some mad serious injury in a month's time and I'll never do jiu-jitsu again. Like, you just never know. We never know how it's going to go. So I'm just taking it that, look, this could be my last chance. Who knows? I want to go for it now. Like, I want to start seeing what I'm really capable of in jiu-jitsu, what my potential can be if I start taking it more seriously, just like I did with mobility and strength and all these other things. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Have the jiu-jitsu doc there, having a little plan, going into each session, and the process will evolve. Look, I've never done this before for jiu-jitsu. I'm just taking stuff from guys on YouTube, hence why I put this up on YouTube and do the podcast and stuff. Just people sharing what they do, so that's why I'm giving this stuff back. Yeah, I'm just following guys on YouTube and taking some of their advice and just starting my own little process of preparation for jiu-jitsu. So I have the little plans before the class, and then after class, just a little review. Just 5 minutes when I get home or on the drive home, just think, okay, what worked well there, what didn't work well there, and then obviously what's the plan for the next session. Yeah, so that's it. So I'm excited. Look, I'm excited now, back, and obviously the new frame on it, like taking it more seriously and stuff. And yeah, it's just interesting and exciting for me, because I've always loved jiu-jitsu. I think it's a great thing. Like, I'm going to be helping out with the coaching and stuff soon in the future, more than likely, probably sooner than later, because I think it's a great gift to give someone in the world, like physical freedom. One of the best ever. Your body's your vehicle for life, no matter what you're doing. So that's kind of number one. But branching out from that, like martial arts, it benefits your life in so many ways. Like, I truly believe we should all be learning basic martial arts, just like we learn English, maths, and all these other things. I'm not saying you have to love it. I'm not saying you have to do it for life. Same as English and all these things in school, science, tech, drawing, whatever. I didn't like a lot of them, but I just did some of the basics so I could use them in life. And I think it's the same with martial arts and self-defense. For all the obvious reasons. Yeah, if someone attacks you on the street, you're going to throw a matchbook at their head, or you're going to reason with them. That's not a good thing to do. You probably shouldn't do that. You're going to use your English speaking skills. There's different languages in the world. The language of violence. If you don't speak it, you're at the mercy of those who do. But it's not just self-defense. It's just for confidence. Problem solving under pressure. All these other things that you'd hear about in terms of martial arts. Yeah, probably should leave it there. What's that, 15, 16 minutes? Yeah, that's probably enough. Just wanted to explain those two things. And even I have jiu-jitsu now. It's 2:30 now, so class this evening's at 7:15. So even going to the class is going to be different. Like, I thought of how I go to the gym. When I go to the gym, like an hour before, I'll drink coffee as a pre-workout. And then I'll, just Google my doc here, check the session, what I'm actually going doing, get in the right frame of mind, cool, I'm going. But jiu-jitsu, like I said, I just turn up. So now I'm going to be doing that today. I have the coffee an hour beforehand, and actually take out the doc and just see, cool, what am I working on today? It's just the simple things, having the intent around it, going to make a massive difference. So for those actually as well, like I said on the stories, if you do jiu-jitsu, I'm doing it in Brazier Jiu-Jitsu in Inchicore. Couldn't ask for a better club there. So if you want to start, if you were thinking of starting a martial art or even thinking of starting jiu-jitsu, DM me. So DM me on Instagram or email me at guidedandsettle@gmail.com, and can set you up with a free trial class. I'll even meet you before if you want. I can help bring you up as well. And yeah, give it the free trial class. And look, if you don't like it, you don't have to come back. But as I said, a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, I suppose. It's not exactly a mainstream thing, but a lot of people I know, at least in terms of friends, once they try it, yeah, a lot of them will do it. They won't all stay, but yeah, a lot of them will like it and get some benefit from it. Okay, so we'll leave it there for for this podcast. So 3 ways I can help you then. So the Physical Freedom Program, as I was saying, that's my one-to-one coaching program on how to overcome chronic pain and injury and reach your athletic potential. So I've worked with hundreds of clients across 37 different sports and activities over 3 separate continents, and covering injuries to all joints in the human body. And even there, I think I put up on Monday, it was just on the archive thing, was it last year or the year before, like helping Dylan. It was Dylan Luddy get back to jiu-jitsu. Like, he'd gone to numerous physios trying to get back to jiu-jitsu, and it just wasn't happening. And of course, yeah, him thinking that he had to settle and give it up. And the long story short, I can't remember how many months. Was it 4 or 5 months, the Physical Freedom Program? I can't remember. Yeah, he was able to get back to jiu-jitsu. And then we went on to do strength training and stuff as well, and he saw how that transferred over too. So yeah, look, martial arts is bad for injuries. We know that. But you can prepare your body so much better. If you're like me, you're like Dylan, you can't do it, I can help get you back. If you're already doing it but you have niggly injuries and stuff, or even you want to perform better, I've worked with people recently as well to help them reach their true potential in it. If you have better mobility, better strength, better coordination, better cardio, it is a massive difference. Like, even going back in the class on Tuesday, I won't go into different stories now, but basically I can see how my strength levels are going to be so helpful. Like, I defended an armbar with brute strength against a black belt who was about 20 kgs heavier than me. I think we were both surprised, and ended up getting into like side control on him as the round ended, and he was breathing heavy and I wasn't even breathing that heavy, and haven't done jiu-jitsu in 5 months. It's the strength work I've done, the cardio work I've done, all these things. I'm like, it's just a bit of a shock to me. I was a bit shocked. I was like, fuck, like, Jesus. Hence the stuff I'm saying. I was like, I could be very good at this. Like, imagine if I did, like, from the physical freedom from the body side. Okay, here's a better way to think of it. One last point, which I heard on a podcast recently, which is a great way to put it. In jiu-jitsu, you have 2 tools that you can use. You have your body and you have your mind. It's actually the same for all sports, isn't it? Yeah, unless you have a hurl or whatever. But like, for jiu-jitsu, I'm just going to stick with this one. The 2 tools you have is you have your body, you have your mind. So for me, with all the Physical Freedom Program work, all, nearly doing 1-arm chin-ups with the strength, all this stuff, I've ticked that body box. My body as a tool, probably one of the best tools you could get in a training room for jiu-jitsu. I don't think maybe there is, I don't know. I don't think there's too many people doing like 1-arm chin-ups who do jiu-jitsu, or I haven't seen them anyway. They probably spent more time learning jiu-jitsu, which I would recommend as well. But you get the point, like, in terms of mobility, strength, and like cardio off the mats, I'm up there. There's not much more I can do. I'm going to keep going for the small gains, but there's not too much more I can do. But on the brain side, as you can see, that's what I haven't been doing. I haven't been doing the preparation. I haven't been focusing on things in the class, reviewing it after class, making a plan then for the next one, and all that stuff. So for me, that's the way I viewed it. I'm like, okay, the body's ticked, can't do much more there. But the brain, a lot could be done there on it. So that's the same for you. And if you're struggling on the body one, that's what the Physical Freedom Program is for. So moving on then, we have the Mental Freedom course as well. That's my self-awareness course that teaches you how to stop looping and suffering and gives you practical tools to skillfully navigate your own mind. Last one then, Lifestyle Design University. So from just €49, you can have the blueprint to design the life true to yourself. Now you'll avoid the biggest regret of humanity in the process, not living a life true to myself, living the life others expected of me. So with the follow, contact, DM on Instagram is probably the best one. I'm on there every day, answering questions and stuff. Or else, email me at guidedandsettle@gmail.com. You can check out the website in the description as well, and the documentary and stuff is there if you're only seeing this for the first time. Cool, so that's it. Don't settle, live true to yourself. We'll talk to you next week.